video is about how we can tell if a relationship is going to be good for our lives. At least generally tell. Of course, you know, I always say you got the little details that's in between that's very important. But for this video, I wanted to just talk about understanding how you're affecting someone's ascendant. That is key right there. So, on a basic level, we're going to talk about, you know, the aspects here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you grab my book, ABCs of Astrology, A Beginner's Guide to Becoming Your Own Astrologer. And if you want to understand more about house overlays, definitely get my book, A Guide to Relationship Synastry. Both of those are on Amazon and other book merchants all over the world. So, to talk about this, we want to understand how someone's ascendant is being affected on a basic level. Does Saturn hit my ascendant? Does your Saturn hit my ascendant? Does your Venus hit my ascendant here? And when you can understand how someone hits your ascendant, you will understand how they will affect your life. Now, let's take that a little step deeper. Now, when we understand where the ruler of my ascendant is truly going in your chart, how are you aspecting the ruler of my ascendant? And like I said, if this gets too complicated, I got a course coming up. Make sure you hit me up on my website and fill out the form and let me know that you want to be added to the course list, because I go into even further details about this. But I'm going to keep this really basic. So let's say that my ascendant is Venus. All right, where does my Venus fall within your chart? All right, my Venus falls in your 5th house. So you enjoy me as a lover. You want me in your life probably as a date, as a lover, as a good time kind of thing. But is your Saturn opposing my Venus? Is your Uranus squaring my Venus as well? Yes, that causes issues with breakups, but I don't feel very good about this situation. You actually make me quite uneasy and make me feel a little unattractive here, right? Because that ruler is being aspected very poorly by the other person. You are pulling and taking away from their physical being. The way they present themselves is going to be affected deeply. You know, Saturn is Saturn also squaring your ascendant ruler? Because it could be twice. Their Saturn could be squaring your ascendant, or their Saturn could be squaring your ascendant ruler. And both can have the same issues here. The same issues of, hey, you know, you're bringing me down. You're a wet blanket. And it sucks. I know it sucks, because sometimes it's not a mutual issue. Sometimes for the other person, you're messing up their ascendant ruler and you're jacking up their ascendant. You're making them feel uncomfortable, while, let's say, for example, you're Sagittarius ascendant and your Jupiter. They're hitting your Jupiter lovely. You know, aspecting, the sun is trining Jupiter, moon is trining Jupiter. Everything is really nice with that Jupiter. So it's like, but I feel good about this. Why don't you? I don't. Your Saturn is jacking me up. And this is where the conflict of interest comes. This is where that Jupiter person may have to just let things go, let it slide, because their influence on the partner is not the same. Can you come to a middle ground? I guess. But if one generally feels that you're no good for their life, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work at all. Let's use another example. So the ruler of your ascendant is Capricorn. So Saturn is your ruler. So Saturn is the ruler of your ascendant. So if you are going to see somebody, you want someone that is going to have good aspects to that Saturn. Or you're going to want to make good aspects, because Saturn is usually the heavier planet. Usually the heavier planets have more influence when we're talking about synastry. What do I mean by that? Is the outer planets tend to affect the little guys, the inner planets, a lot harder. So, for example, a Saturn to Venus, when it comes to synastry, Saturn is going to be putting the press on Venus. Venus is going to be feeling that effect, but Saturn is going to be the one that is really going to not be as affected as Venus, because Saturn is doing the heavy lifting. Saturn is the one oppressing Venus. So who feels worse, the oppressor or the oppressed? Okay, both will be affected, but that's just how that situation goes. So if you want to understand how you are going to be affected by somebody in general, the relationship with somebody, look to your ascendant, how they are affecting your ascendants, and you look to how they are affecting the ruler of your ascendant as well. So like I said, I've been in a situation where, they was hitting my stuff, which is great, but I wasn't hitting theirs. So you kind of look like the oppressor, even though that's not who you are. You're not trying to be, but that's how it is sometimes in synastry. That's why we can't take it so personally when things don't work out between another person, because it's not you, it's just us that's not working. And people say, it's not you, it's me. No, that's bullshit too. It's just the combination that sucks. It's not necessarily the whole relationship or me or you. And that's really like a compromise. I think that gives people, that'll give you peace that you're not a bad person, that the other person isn't a bad person. It was just a bad mix. And sometimes when one is feeling that way and the other isn't, that's where we clash. That's where the drama happens, because the other doesn't want to let go. Where the other one's trying to run away, okay, the other one is trying to hold on and keep it moving. And that's just the game of life. That's how it goes. So I wanted to break that down a little bit, and I wanted to talk about how we affect each other's ascendant. Sometimes another's Neptune could be hitting the ruler of your ascendant, and that can make you, seem very confusing to other people. When you go about doing things in your world, your life can become a little bit kind of weird and nebulous and on a lower vibration, but on a higher vibration, it could be more spiritual. You can learn the spiritual aspects. You could walk around looking like, I don't know, Krishna or Buddha or something when you're walking around with this person in your life. I break this down in my book, and I go even deeper in the course, but it is really about taking the time to truly accept things for as they are in the chart, but at the same time take it with a grain of salt. I know I've said a lot in that one sentence, but it's true, because sometimes you will provoke situations that didn't necessarily have to be provoked by being influenced by the chart. There could be about 5 to 10 different scenarios that could come out in the chart, but you're focused on one. And that one could be detrimental to your relationship. And like I said, we are a self-fulfilling prophecy a lot of times with our thoughts. So it's really important, like I said, understand, pay attention, but also take it with a grain of salt, because sometimes, we think we need to hold on to shit that we should have let go of a long time ago. And hey, I ain't preaching, I'm just speaking on my experience. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to get on my course, make sure you sign up. Go to my website and fill out the contact form and just write course on the subject line, and I got you. If you need a reading, you can book it under services, and I got you there too. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at AstroDee5 as well for updates and all that good stuff. I hope you guys like this little snippet. Take care.
That is okay.